Hi everybody, I'm Jason Salyer. Welcome to On 3. This weekend we're camping on the lake, taking the boys out, and it's all about passing on the knowledge, passing on the tribal knowledge that I've learned over the years, learned from family and friends, and learned from my my dad. My dad taught me how to tie a hook on a line, and not everybody's dad teaches them how to do that. I know my son needs to learn how to tie a hook on a line, and I failed him in that aspect. So we're gonna make sure we remedy some of that this weekend. Arms straight, use your body to dig in. See that? So what we want to do is find a source of fresh water that's not the lake, because the lake is clean enough, but not as clean as I'd like it to drink out of. So if you look at the lay of the land, like you look at the tops of the trees, and you see kind of how they come down to a depression, kind of like a valley, that's most likely where the water is going to be. We could drink out of the lake, but it's not as nice as drinking water out of a fresh flowing creek. Okay? It's not as cold and it's not as clean. We can filter it, yeah, boil it, but it'd be better to have water flowing. You see this tree hanging over the water? That's called a sourwood. Eat one of the young leaves, one of the fresher looking leaves.
I'm taking these off. I can't wear them.
I don't know why you wore long johns. It's summertime, bro. You look like a alligator out there, buddy.
Where?
Do you want to use like a worm or do you want to use a lure?
Oh, worm.
A worm, okay.
I'm going old school.
Oh, okay. I'm going to show you once, and then the next time you're going to do it, okay? And then I'm going to twist the hook once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, to make it even more gooder of a knot, I take the tag in again, and I go back through this loop, off of it. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's how you tie a fisherman's knot.
Try to use your teeth or something.
Yeah, it's lead. I wouldn't recommend using your teeth, but that holds pretty good. And now you're just gonna hook your worm on there. You know how to do that, right?
Yeah, but I don't like worms for some reason.
Well, you're gonna have to get used to that.
Get out, you flipping worm. What is wrong with it?
Hey, you don't need to use a whole worm. You can remember just pinch the worm like in half and use a small piece of worm.
I need a worm.
Push, bud, push. Push. Heave. Heave. Keep heaving. You can do it. Push, push, push. Keep going. Now hop in. Quick. Nice, bro. That was sweet.
It was a slime.
All right. I want you to paddle us over to the other side. Okay? Spread your hands apart. Put one hand on top of the paddle. On top. There you go. Get us around this log. See that spot right there? Pull the canoe up there. Beach it up on the bank there, so it doesn't float away. We don't want to come back tomorrow and our canoe be gone, right? You guys are in charge of finding our camping spot, okay? I'm not gonna tell you where to camp. You guys need to find our camping spot. Think of what we need, right? What do we need for our camp spot? Like, is this a good spot? This looks like a decent spot to me. It's pretty close to the creek, maybe 50 yards-ish. Maybe a little close to the creek, but not bad. Plenty of trees that we can tie our hammocks up to, right? Think this will work? Is there a good spot for our fire? So little Eli didn't bring any shoes. He left them in the car. And now he's walking through holly leaves and getting stabbed in the feet. And I could help him, but then he wouldn't learn the lesson to be responsible. Right, bud? And what's with that really girly bag you brought? What's going on with that? This is a men's trip, and you brought a flower backpack. What are you thinking? So your brother's doing which trees? Which trees are you doing? Those two? All right. So you could tie yours between that tree and maybe this one.
Okay, can you help me?
Nope. I want you to figure it out first. Try to figure it out, and if you can't do it, I'll help. If I do it for you, you won't learn.
I know how to do it.
But Dad, I don't know how to do this one because the rope is separate.
Oh, maybe if we cry, we have a good cry, we'll figure it out. What do you think? Let's try it out. Nice. That'll work. Yeah, that's probably about right. Almost no chance of rain tonight, so I don't think we need to worry about putting tarps up. You are in charge of getting small kindling. You know what that is, right? What are you gonna get it off of?
Pine tree?
Yeah, the dead branches on the bottom of pine trees, the little tiny ones, right? How much are you gonna get? Yeah, big bundle, right? A big bundle. You are gonna collect sticks about the size of your thumb in thickness. Listen, about the size, they can be longer, but about as thick as your thumb. Okay, you're gonna get a whole bunch of them, like this much, that much. Okay. You are gonna get the big stuff. Okay, big firewood. That is good, but like I was just telling your brother, we want to do our best to find stuff that's up off of the ground, that's not on the ground, because if it's on the ground, what might be wrong with it?
Wet.
It's wet, right? So this stuff here, let's take a look. Yeah, I can feel it. It feels cool in my hand, right? And so that means it's got some moisture in it. It'll burn, but it won't burn really good. So try to find dead branches and stuff that are leaning against trees or still up in the trees, and that's gonna burn a lot better. Yeah, stuff like that, dead standing stuff like that's perfect. Yep, that'll be great. How much we need of kindling, that's what Elijah's getting. We need a lot of the thumb size stuff.
I need help though, because I can't find any like good pieces. They're all wet that I find. I need help finding stuff.
You need a pouty face is what you need. Go find wood, bud. If you want a fire, we gotta find firewood. You don't need help, you just need to go do it. All right, so this is a pretty cool filter. It comes in two parts, and it's basically just a water bottle. So you can drink out of this if you wanted to. You're not going to, because this is mine, but you're gonna pour this into your water bottle or your cup, whatever you have. But the way you do it is you loosen the lid just a little, pull it apart, like that. And then you're gonna fill this up. You see that line?
Yeah.
You're gonna fill the water up out of the creek without getting any sediment in it, no sand or leaves or anything like that. Be real careful. Fill it up to that. Then you take this and push it down nice and slow. And when it gets all the way to the bottom, like that, open it up, pour your water into your canteen or whatever you've got.
All right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Piece of cake, right?
Yeah.
So here's a valuable lesson. Like I explained to you last time, right? If you fail to prepare your fire properly, it's gonna go out, right? It's gonna go out, and then you'll have to start all over collecting the kindling again, right? So what we wanna do is make sure that we have enough kindling, a big pile of kindling, and make sure it's enough to get it going. That'll light our bigger stuff, our thumb size and wrist size stuff. Because if we don't, it's gonna go out, and then we'll have to start all over, and that's a pain in the butt. All right? So when you think you have enough, double it. You were what?
When I had those legging things on,
Yeah, I don't know why you wore long johns out here. It's like 80 degrees.
I thought it was gonna be colder.
It will tonight. Like, so that's the thing about packing your gear and equipment. You plan accordingly. So I wouldn't wear that stuff because I know that I'm gonna be sweating and working and hiking and paddling and things like that, right? And you might wanna go swim. But you wanna bring it because you know tonight it's gonna be in the 50s and it's gonna be cold. So think ahead and plan ahead and try to be organized. And I'm really trying to not do stuff for them. I'm trying to make sure that they're doing all of the work. And it's kind of nice, actually. I did most of the packing, but now that they're collecting all the firewood, which normally is my task, I'm letting them learn for themselves. And if they fail getting a fire going, they're going to have to start over. I'm trying to make sure that they are aware that preparation is the key. So the saw is binding, right? It's pinching your blade because the weight of this log is coming down. You see how it's pinching right there? That's what's causing it to happen. So just rotate the log over so it spreads that gap. Yeah, there you go. White pine, and that's perfect. That's what we want. But what you're doing is you're breaking off these twigs and you're breaking off these teensy tiny little pieces. Here's what I would do. Come over here. I would grab this whole branch like this. Watch. Break it off, and then hold this end. Do it to another one. Hold the end, right? Do it to another one. Hold the end. And think about how many little sticks are on these 3 branches, right? A lot, right? Drag those over to the fire and then break them up, okay? As opposed to just getting a few tiny little sticks at a time. I'm trying to let them do most of the work because if they don't do the stuff, they won't learn. I'm not gonna collect their firewood for them. I'm not gonna get their gear for them. If their stuff gets wet, it gets wet. If they're not, don't take care of their equipment, that's on them, and they're gonna be cold tonight. So I'm trying to just let them learn as they work. And overall, they're doing pretty good so far. Good attitudes, a little bit of whining, but that's kind of to be expected. But trying to nip that in the bud as well. And we're even gonna, I brought some rice, but that's pretty much it. If we don't catch any fish, then we're not gonna eat anything for the most part. So that's on them too. I'm gonna fish a little bit too, but if we don't catch anything, then we won't have anything to eat. Yep. Then hold it with this hand, the line with that hand. And hold the hook with this hand.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, good job. And then we just need to cut off that tag end. Do you want to use my knife? Where's your knife? You didn't bring a knife.
It's in the car.
You left your shoes and your knife in the car.
Why?
Sharp fins, and that's the only thing you really need to watch out for. These bluegills don't have teeth really, so we don't need to be careful of that. But we need to grab them and lay their fins down. So I'm laying its fin down. See that? If his fins are sticking up, they're really sharp and they can poke you. I got stabbed in my leg with a really big fish one time and it made my leg get infected. So you want to lay its fins down and then grab the fish like that. Put it through its gill and out its mouth.
Hey, no!
Oh!
I don't see it. I'm not
There you
good
go.
at fishing. You fish.
You're not good at fishing? Why? Why do you think you're not good at fishing? Explain that to me. Give me your best guess of why you're not good at fishing.
Because, I don't know. I'm just not good at it.
You're just not good at it? Like you don't think you'll ever be good at it?
I will when I'm older.
Why? Why will you get better?
I'll be fishing more.
Because you'll practice, right?
Yeah.
If I do it for you, are you going to get better at fishing?
No.
Not a chance, right?
Can you do it?
Absolutely not.
I don't want to do it. I'll lose it again.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't. Remember what I told you about leaving some slack on the end of your line there. Don't reel it in so far. You want about a rod's length of line. So it's not going to hurt you. Don't let go of it.
It wiggled out my hand.
It's all right. You got to hold. You got to squeeze it. It won't hurt you. I promise.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Nice. This trip is all about teaching the boys some skills and that type of things. Maybe some things that I've been slacking on teaching them in the past, but it's also really good for me because it's a lesson in patience. It's so easy to do stuff for them, you know. It's so easy to tie their hook on for them, bait their worm, get the fish off, that kind of stuff, and take care of all the issues for them. But if you do that, they never learn it, and that would be a mistake. So that's what I'm really trying to do is be patient, let them figure things out for themselves, let them make mistakes. The poor Isaiah already lost a couple fish. He caught 2 fish. He's been slaying them. He's doing a really good job fishing. He's being patient and doing a good job. But as he's been trying to put them on the stringer, he's dropped them in the lake. So I'm gonna let him learn how to do it the right way and not lose our fish, not lose our dinner. But they just caught another one, so I'm gonna go see if I can get it on film here.
Grab it for me.
There you go. Tie just a little knot around it.
And then,
You don't even need to. Just tie that end that you have in your hand onto the boat.
I got one.
No.
Nice, bro. Look at you go.
Did I bring the line over there?
Nice one. Come towards me. All right, bud, how many fish do we have?
We have 5.
5 fishes to eat. Not exactly whoppers, but they'll do. It's better than nothing, right? Good job. You can basically rip it like that. Just your fingers. Like that.
You killed it.
And then reach in.
Been dead.
Reach in like that. Rip it out. And pull out its guts. So you don't even need a knife. And actually, I'd probably prefer you guys don't use a knife to clean them. There's its guts. And now this would make good bait if we wanted to fish again. You could use its guts to fish. But we're just going to toss them in the lake. And then that's pretty much it. That's all you really need to do. We could get rid of its gills and chop off its head, but we don't need to. And it's meat. It's in its muscles all along its sides. So it makes it swim. So that's all we really need to do to clean it. So you don't even need to use your knife. And since I'm not going to watch you do this the whole time, I don't want you to use a knife.
Got it.
You gotta be tough. Can't be sissies. Can't be sissy girls and be afraid of guts.
Got it.
There you go.
Afraid of the guts.
That's it. And just rip the guts out with your fingers. That's all you gotta do.
Ow, something sharp. Ow.
Suck it up.
That pinch, that poke,
Hey, suck it up.
that poked and
Get it done.
bleeding. Oh, up the poopy hole.
Go as far as your finger can go.
Yep.
And
And
then
then push it up. Go on.
Ow, ow, ow! It bit me! I tried to
Yeah, look at you. See? Good job, bud. Good job.
It has been murdered.
And since it took you the longest, you have to eat the guts.
Yeah. Right, I'll hold your mouth.
Ow!
Can you spot the game trail?
What's a game trail?
Game trail is where animals move frequently, like a path.
Oh,
Can you see it?
yeah.
Where?
It's right here.
Which way does it go?
It goes that way.
Yeah, and it runs down toward the creek, and that's towards the lake, and that's where they get their drink of water probably. And you can see poop right there. Looks like deer poop.
Watch it, watch out.
Find some more like that, guys. Break it up, punk.
You break it up.
What'd you say? That's what you get. Hey. Stop.
That is you.
All right, finish breaking that up. Well, I've got a lighter, and I'll let you guys use it. Isaiah, I want you to start the fire. So you've got that. How are we gonna start it?
Oh, we're gonna light under it.
Walk me through it. What are you gonna do? Don't do it. Just tell me what you're gonna
We're
do.
gonna go under here and try to get some started.
You could do that, but it's the problem with doing that is it takes a lot of the lighter fluid. And what if you run out of lighter fluid?
You can't do it.
You can't do it. So what do you think we could do?
Get leaves.
Leaves, dry leaves might work. That might work, but I found something that's even better. You guys want to see? So when a pine tree gets damaged, it bleeds, right? Yeah. And it bleeds pine sap or resin, whatever you want to call it. And that is very, very flammable.
This?
This right here, poke it with your finger. Is it squishy?
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there. That is like dried, solidified pine sap. If you pull that off, try not to get it all over your fingers because it's really tough to get it off. But that right there is
Smells good.
way, way more than enough to get a fire started. You're gonna light, you'll light that.
It turns into coal though too.
No,
over.
it burns. It just burns.
It burns slowly though.
Yeah, it takes a long time to burn that. Just a small piece is more than enough to get a fire going. Hold it like that because it'll melt and drip on you. So you be careful. Real careful with it. Don't take your time. Just sit on the bark. You don't have to put it on the wood yet. Is this burning good?
Yep.
Start moving.
All right, let it catch up just a little bit. And then all you've got to do is slowly start pushing that pile of sticks on top. Don't smother it. You don't want to put it out.
Like this?
Yeah, just very gently. Don't push it down. Just pull it on top. Very careful. Real gentle, real slow, real easy. You don't need to rush because that pine pitch will burn for a long time. Yep, keep coming. Keep dragging it.
Okay, watch out.
There you go.
It likes burning.
That's
things.
it. You did it. Now, Isaiah, where is my lighter?
It's right here.
Where should you have put that?
On your back. I don't know.
Either in my pocket or in your pocket. That's it. There's no other place for that, okay? Why should we never put it on the ground like that?
Because you can lose it.
Because we'd lose it, and then we'd have no way to start a fire, right? Mm-hmm. Assuming this is our only lighter. What I like to try to do is lay it kind of parallel to the log, so that way it feeds off of itself, feeds off of each other really well and helps burn if you lay it like that. If you start laying them all crazy like that, it gets kind of unorganized and doesn't burn as well. So lay them parallel to one another.
Whenever
Don't knock it over. Got his entire body weight on it. Heave, boy. Almost there. Just stay on it. Stay on it. Got it. Piece of cake.
Got an ember on the
There you go. Good job. All right, so we'll you can cook fish a lot of different ways. The easiest and probably the oldest way of cooking fish is just putting it right on hot coals like that. So all we're gonna do is lay them down on top of the coals, and then we'll flip them once. And if their eyeballs are nice and white and looks and crispy, then we know it's done. So let's just lay them on.
It on there like that?
You could, but I would do one at a time. Just lay them on. Not quite so close to the fire. Over here. There we go. Like that. And we don't have to scale them this way. You don't have to cut the scales off. Just cook them with the scales on. And it's not too hard to eat them. The problem with these kind of fish is they're real bony.
What are you doing?
They're super bony.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful eating them.
Okay. Right down your throat.
Yeah, right there. Just lay them all out nice and flat. Make us a nice big plate so it keeps our fish up off the dirt when we're ready for them. Yeah, spread them flat. Like, take each one and kind of just lay it down like that.
So we have our own plate.
Yeah, so they're nice and flat. Don't want a big pile of them. These work the best. I'm not sure what I can't remember the difference in names, but those work better than the soft ones. The easiest thing to do is just kind of tear them apart, and then the meat just kind of flakes off. You see that?
Yeah.
But there's lots of bones in them, so you got to be careful. I brought a spoon, but the boys here did not. Show me your spoon or fork, whatever you made. It's real nice. Take your cup, rinse it out just with plain water, swirl it around, wash it out. Take your hand, scrub it a little bit. And then after you've done that, grab a little bit of sand in the bottom of the creek. Stick the sand in your pole, in your cup, like this. Look. Throw it in there. I'll actually swirl that around. Scrub it with the rocks and sand. Every little nook and cranny down the bottom. You wash the outside if you had it in the fire at all. And then, after you've scrubbed it really good, rinse it. So it's even simple things like that, just washing, you know, your camp dishes out in the creek that these kids would have no idea how to do unless somebody showed them. Most of my outdoor skills I kind of learned on my own and just through trial and error and whatnot. But imagine the leg forward that these kids will have if you just take some time with them and show them just some really basic skills. I was so fortunate to have grown up with a father, grown up with grandparents that taught me things, showed me how to do outdoor activities, you know, tie a hook on a line. Not all kids have that, and it's really, really sad to me, and it's unfortunate. And I just think we need to do a better job as fathers, you know, to teach these kids the things that they need to know, man skills, basic stuff like this. Every kid should know how to, you know, whittle. Every kid should know how to start a fire. Every kid should know how to wash a cup out in the creek, you know. Every kid should know how to catch a fish. At least that's my opinion. And we need to do our part.
Can you give me that?
Okay, fine.
In the middle of the night, when you get cold, what are you going to have to do?
Oh, put them on.
Yeah, and how are you going to get them?
Like getting out.
You're going to have to get out. And that's not very much fun. So I would suggest you have them with you in your sleeping bag, or in your hammock at least. You don't have to wear them. But it's going to be chilly tonight. It's going to be down in the low 50s, I think. Would you like to live like this all the time? Yeah? I don't think I'd want to do it all the time. Short periods of time it's good, but I appreciate my nice house and soft bed.
Cookies.
And cookies, yeah. And cookies. That's right.
Those cookies are good.
Just try to get dry rocks. Don't ever get any out of the creek. Because when you build a fire and the rocks get hot and there's moisture inside of them, they can blow up pretty aggressively sometimes.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh. So what's for breakfast?
I brought oatmeal with raisins and
Oh wait, no, I think it
I think that's about it.
right position.
Yeah.
And then I made a fire, and then I went back to bed, and I got a little bit of sleep.
Did you guys stay warm?
Yeah. No, I had to give Isaiah my sweater.
Oh, you
He
did?
was cold, so I was a
Well, of
little bit
course,
cold.
because you just slept in his t-shirt, didn't you?
Yeah.
His wet shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah. But then I saw what Isaiah was doing. He was getting in and wrapping the thing over his head.
Yeah.
Once I did that, I started getting to sleep.
Yeah, people say, like, I've heard arguments that you're not supposed to get all the way inside your sleeping bag because when you breathe, the condensation from your air will make you wet and get you cold. I've done that. I've covered myself up like a burrito completely with my sleeping bag, and I'm always warmer when I do that. So
I just
I
wrapped
don't
it
know.
around my head, and then I just pulled the string a little bit,
yeah,
and then I had my.
yeah, that's a good idea. Turn it, spin it real careful with the handle towards you.
Alright, I got it. Good job.
Tell us that we had to bring a spoon because we didn't know that you were bringing the oatmeal and the rice.
Oh, but that's exactly what I'm trying to teach you, though, is that you need to be responsible for you, right? Nobody else has to be responsible for you. I'm your dad, so I take care of you, and I remember to bring you things and do those kinds of things. But if I always do everything for you, you're not going to learn. Do you understand? And I knew you could live without a spoon, so I didn't think it was that big a deal. I brought you the necessities, like a hammock and a sleeping bag, so you didn't freeze. We have fresh water to drink, so I know that in the 48 hours that we're out here, you're going to survive. But all the other comfort things that you could have remembered, that you should have thought of, you didn't bring, right? Like shoes, and surrounded by holly trees and all the pokey leaves. Wouldn't it have been a good idea to have shoes? Yeah. I remembered coffee. Did you remember hot chocolate?
I don't know how to make hot chocolate, and I don't know where the things are to make hot chocolate.
You could have asked. You slept good last night, right? I didn't see you up. The other two boys were up most of the night. But you were out like a rock. Me too. I heard a deer blowing. Did you hear the deer blowing last night?
Yeah, it was blowing really loud.
Yeah, it was right over behind where I was sleeping. Just kind of flatten it out. The older boys are over fishing this morning. I haven't heard them catch anything yet, but they might come up with something. But they didn't sleep very good last night. They were up pretty much all night, I think. They started the fire a couple times, and just restless, couldn't go to sleep. But that's all right. They'll get used to it. I've only had them out a couple times, maybe three times camping with them. Maybe 3. So they're still kind of getting used to sleeping outside, which is understandable. So you see what your brother did, Isaiah? On his way back to camp?
What do you do?
He collected firewood.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. I mean, you're going to buy it anyway. Might as well pick it up on your way back. And then before we leave and get ready to go, we got to make sure this campsite gets cleaned up really good.
So we keep the fire pit?
No. We're going to get rid of it all. Try to make it look like we weren't here as best we can. Pour more water on it. And once we get all of it soaked, then we can scatter it. Ready? Heave, boy, heave. And when we're in the water, you can hop in.
Down on the back, way back. Just sit down right there.
I think I mentioned without breaking the fishing poles, but maybe not. So on a paddleboard, guys, it's all about the weight distribution. So I can see you're doing a wheelie, right? The front of your board's sticking way high up in the sky. That means that all your weight's towards the back, and that's like putting the brakes on. So yeah, slide. Either both of you slide towards the middle, or Isaiah, you go way towards the front. Yeah, a little more. Right there. And now you'll go a lot faster. They're almost there. We did it, boys. We survived. All right, everybody, I'm Jason Sire. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. The boys are having a good time throwing rocks at each other, and that's what boys do. If Mom was here, she'd shut that down. But not when Dad's in charge. Thanks. Hit that thumbs up. See ya.